What is up, y'all? Welcome back to the channel for another video. Today what we're going to do is we are going to review, unbox, kind of first impressions or test the dog trainer T800 Plus from Pet Hey. It's a 4-in-1 deal. They reached out to me. This is their new product. They're wanting me to test it out. They wanted me to do a dog training video on that. But unboxing it and checking this thing out, I'm going to bring it to you guys and let y'all know exactly what I think about this product. Now, I'm not going to knock these guys, right? These guys are wanting testers. These guys are wanting stuff reviewed and things like that. So I'm going to go ahead and make this video and get the feedback out to them. Okay, so first impressions on this unit is this is handy, right? Let's see if I can get it out of there for you guys. This is a pretty handy unit. I like this receiver, and it seems to be built pretty good. And it is very digital, right? So it's like very digital kind of receiver. Right here, if you guys can see, it has a monitor, right? So it will tell you if your dog's laying down, standing up, running, whatever. So that is a really good feature on this, right? So I actually really like that feature. And then another feature that this has, it has a mode button. Okay, so we switch between modes right there, and that way when we stim our dog, it doesn't automatically just go ahead and stim the dog or beep the dog prior to it, right? There is a way to switch between them without automatically doing it. That is a huge, huge thing, right? That is a huge thing in my book. That goes a very long way. This also has a, if I can get this thing to do it, I've only been messing with it for a minute. This also has a anti-bark, automatic anti-bark. Now with that, I've not tested the anti-bark on that, but a lot of anti-bark collars, especially, I don't know what their unit price is for this going to be or how good of quality. It seems very good quality, but a lot of the lower quality anti-bark collars, they will, if the dog shakes the collar, it will just automatically start shocking them. Anything that can be misconstrued as a pin dropping will set the bark collar off. So we have to really watch that on our bark collars, especially if we're going to buy cheap bark collars. Another feature that this has, which I think is a pretty cool feature, if I can get to it here. So still pretty new at the using this thing, but this has a anti-loss, right? I have not tested the range on this. Okay, so the range on that is going to be, should be pretty good distance, right? I'm not sure. I haven't tested the range on this because I have not put this on my dogs yet, and I'll get into that in a couple minutes right here. Okay, so I'll read off some of the features of this thing. Okay, so first off, I think I should go over some of the modes and buttons, right? So we have the vibrate button, the shock button, and the tone button, and then we have up to 3 dogs. Okay, so that is a huge deal too, is more than one dog can be ran off of this. It's got the up and down adjuster on this side to raise or lower your shock or tone levels or whatever. It's got a lock button on the side, so we can lock the screen out so we cannot do anything. And it also has the mode button to switch in between. And what I just understood there, I have to go switch this back over to that, and let's see if it will lock. It will lock the shock out. It will not lock the other ones out. So I'm still messing around with this thing, but there's a couple big reasons why. Here is the receiver end, right? So this is pretty decent, right? Really nice watertight deal. So the quality of this is not poor, right? So this is a pretty good quality system. Nice collar. I'm going to start getting into all this stuff here in a little bit. One thing that I liked about this unit in particular is this sticker right here that comes on this collar. This tells you, please check the skin condition of your dog's neck every day. Okay, so not a lot of shock collars will tell you that, and that is one of the biggest things a lot of guys will find out really quick, especially if they're new to shock collars. Shock collars will put holes in your dog's neck from just wearing them, especially if these. Okay, so I'm going to talk about these. I got other shock collars out here that we're going to get into and go back and forth and compare these, and I'm going to give them guys some extra good tips on how to make this better. Okay, so I have a lot of those. Okay, so the box comes with, you know, your typical shock collar stuff. Comes with the receiver, the collar, the leash, charger, diodes, and a tester, right? So it comes with all that stuff and the handheld and this little leash deal. Okay, so this is pretty cool. The only thing that I have not figured out yet is there's a little L right there on the screen. I've not figured out what that is. That might be a low battery, but I have good battery. But that little L right there, it does not tell me in the manual, it does not tell me in any of the paperwork on this box what that little L stands for. So I would just say to you guys, hey, let us know what that little L means, especially if we're going to put this into production. That's kind of like, what is that on that screen, right? Switching between the dogs, I can't because I only have the one collar. I had really high hopes. This is what I was talking about with the handling stuff in a couple of my other videos. I had really high hopes that I would be able to use this, and they sent it over, and it was in a far enough along in production and reiterations or whatever have you that I would actually feel comfortable putting this on my dog. But I am not, and we're going to get into why I am not. And this is not knocking this company at all, you guys. They're working this one out, so this is kind of like a tester deal. But I'm gonna go ahead and find my tester. Wherever I put my tester at, I'm gonna go ahead and find that. Should have had this done a minute ago. But what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna find my tester and I'll be right back. All right, guys, I found my little doodad to do the testing. Okay, so first things first, what I really did not like about this unit is get a load of this. This is the tone. That's like a 5 or 6 second tone, and that is on the highest. So you raise it up and down, right? So let me put it on a 1. All it does is it changes the tone, right? It doesn't raise the volume, it doesn't lower the volume, right? So if we're doing a tone, I would prefer to have this volume or this button that changes the levels all the way up to the 8. Okay, so we'll talk about that in a second as well. All the way up to an 8. It just makes it more high pitch and more kind of annoying on the ear. So one thing that I will say is that is an extreme. Okay, so that is an extreme. That is more of a invisible fence warning beep. That is not a dog training beep. Okay, so that's one thing that I will tell you guys, and I'll get into that as I break down these other units that I have here. That is a warning for you're going outside of your deal. That is not a dog training beep. Okay, that is too excessive. That is too long. That outspans a dog's attention span. Whatever you want to call it, you need quick, precise adjustments and quick, precise beeps, tones, whatever. All right, so the vibrate on this deal, let's go ahead and give this a go. So the vibrate seems to be legit. Okay, so I would be okay with doing the vibrate on a dog. And especially, I like the that changes the speed of your vibrate, right? So that's on a 8. Here's an 8. Y'all should be able to hear this. I'm gonna crank this down to a 1. Okay, so I'll crank this down to a 1. It's much slower vibrate. So I would use the vibrate function on this, but that's about the only function that I would use on this collar at this point in time. And let's go ahead and let's start talking about the shock feature on this. Okay, so first and foremost, these diodes are crazy. Okay, these are insane. Okay, these are huge, very pointy. We need a lot better deal than this. Okay, so one thing, and I'll break out the other collar just to show you the other collar that I'm going to bring on later. You see these diodes? These diodes are actually rubberized diodes, right? So and they still shock, right? So they are rubberized, and they're not so rough on a dog's neck. These things that could potentially maim a dog really bad, especially if somebody left it on their dog too long. The other diodes are a lot smaller than that, but these things are definitely there. So this would be for like, you're putting this thing on like a St. Bernard, right? So look at the diode difference on these. Okay, very pointy, all metal, very large. Okay, this is the largest one, and these are the largest ones for this. These are rubberized diodes. Okay, so here is why I would not shock my dog or even attempt to shock my dog with this system currently in its current configuration. All right, so let me show you something here. Now I'm gonna press the shock button one time. See how many times it shocked that dog? Let me show you this. That's like a 5-second shock, okay? And that is at a 1. And let me tell you something. I shocked myself with this. It hurts. It hurts at a level 1, okay? So we need to dial that in and make it way, way, way broader range, way less shock, way less time. We should be able to poke a dog one time. And I'll show you exactly what I'm talking about on this shock collar in particular. Okay, so this is, I've wore the buttons off this shock collar. This is my favorite shock collar that I've had, right? This is my favorite shock collar that I had. The only drawback on this shock collar that I had is the diodes, okay? So these are not rubberized diodes. This shocking unit right here came with 2 shockers. One of the units died. One of the receiver units ended up dying. I used it for so long. I used this on all my dogs, and this was a awesome unit. And I'm going to start breaking this down. First and foremost, this is a 1 to 99 level unit, right? Very extremely low to very extremely high. That is first and foremost the best deal. Now get a load of the beep, and it has a mode button to switch. I can't get you guys to see that blue screen, but that mode button switches in between the modes. I think you guys can barely see it right there, but I can switch between modes, so I'm not pressing the button to do the deal and accidentally shocking the dog trying to switch between modes. So it has a mode button, which that would be a kind of a, the mode button's a drawback, but it is a must-have, okay? So it is a must-have to have that, because we have that split second, we gotta switch between modes. So we kinda gotta be ready to go to do that. But still, yeah, up and down button for adjusters. This unit right here and this head unit right here lasted me forever. It's still going, right? So 1 beep, 1 click. Hear that? If I hold it, keeps beeping, okay? Another big thing is this. This is the hugest thing, is why I would prefer this over that other unit. Here is 1 shock, and look at the light. 1 click, 1 shock. 1 click, 1 shock. You see how that works? Is if I hold this down, again, if I hold it down, it stays on. Okay, 1 click, 1 shock. Hold it down, it keeps shocking. This unit has been the best unit. These are old and wore out. This receiver is almost wore out. I mean, these were very super nice when I got them. I used them so much. And it became kind of unreliable after age, but throughout, this has been a amazing deal, right? Mode button, multi-dog, 100 adjustments, 1 click, 1 shock, 1 buzz. So we get the, that is just the default. If I hold it, it keeps going, okay? Very, very simple stuff, right? So that unit right there in particular is one of my favorite units. So let's go ahead and let's just talk about this little deal right here. Okay, so this is another very good unit that I picked up. It has the lock button on the side. That one that I just showed you does not. It has a lock button on the side. This is for a smaller dog. This is also a 2-dog system. I only had the 1 dog on it. This is the vibrate on this system. So you click it once. Again, 1 click, 1 vibrate. Hold it, keeps vibrating, okay? The tone. It gives you 2 beeps, but still. 1 click, 2 beeps. Hold the button, it keeps beeping, right? Now let's take a look at the shock function on this collar. Right? I haven't tested this one yet, so 1 click, 1 shock. 1 click, 1 shock. Hold it, keep shocking. That is what we need to train dogs. That other collar, that is too much. That is excessive. That will ruin a dog, especially at the level of shockability on that collar, right? So this right here is a small dog shock unit. What I just showed you all this. I'm gonna run this down to, gotta go the other way. Run this down to a level 1. That's the first time I've ever shocked myself with this collar, right? I'm scared. Barely feel it. Barely feel it. I can feel it, barely feel it. At a level 1. So then let's talk about this one here. I don't even want to shock myself with that other one, to be honest with you. That thing was rough. So I'm going to put my old unit on a level 1. I hope this thing don't malfunction and zap my guts out, but it's old, but let's go ahead and do it. I don't even feel it. I can't even feel it at a 1. That's why I like this collar so much. You can't even feel it at a level 1. And that's what you need. You need precise increments to go up and down to find a dog's level, right? So there's that unit there. Let's talk about this unit. So this unit I also got, I got this unit to try to replace those other 2 units, especially my old favorite one. This came very close, okay? So this came extremely close to being a very good replacement, especially because of the rubberized diodes, right? As a 3-channel, has a light on the collar, so very good altogether. Lots of increments, goes up to 100 again, so very low increments to very high increments. And again, with this, let me get this down to 1. Oh, I'm shocking a different collar. There it is. 1 click, 1 shock, or 1 bump, 1 beep. Gives you 2 beeps. 1 click, 2 beeps. Hold it. Keeps beeping, right? Vibrate. I can withstand that to be a little bit higher. I think I have an adjustment here for that. Hold it. Keeps vibrating. Again, very smart way to do things. Now, let's test the shock unit on this. I don't know if these are the right diodes or the right testing unit for this, but it should work all the same. Give me a second, guys. I'm sorry I'm fumbling around, but let's see. 1 click, 1 shock. Hold it, continue shocking. So this is what I don't like about this unit, is if I go from vibrate to shock, it just shocks them, right? So I can't I can't change modes to shock without shocking my dog. I can't be ready, right? So vibrate, shock, beep. It just automatically changes. So I emailed this company and let them know that that is the only issue with this unit. And other than that, I've had maybe a little bit of transmitter issues, but for a super cheap Amazon deal, perfectly fine. So them are my breakdowns of those compared to these, okay? So if you, Pet Hey, are watching this, which I'm going to send you this has the potential to be a very good unit, okay? Very good potential to be a very good unit. And the takeaways from this is what I'm going to give you is change your diodes to rubberized diodes. Big deal, huge deal. That would go a long ways. Change your collar to one of these collars, okay? These are indestructible, they last long, people love them. Hunting people love them, right? These strong, lastable collars. I believe this is actually the original collars that came with this. This thing is years old, right? Same thing with this. This is what I have on all my shot collar units. The cloth, for one, dogs chew it. They chew it off themselves. For 2, it doesn't last. It frays. These latches, huge no-no, okay? Huge no-no. You want to go with the other style latch. I will say that for sure. So like this kind of deal, right? Not this kind of deal. These are not good, right? So diode change for sure. Your heavy dutiness and all that is fine. On the unit, it takes some getting used to, but what I would actually implore you guys to do with this unit is to pick your buttons, all your up and down buttons, and put it on this side, and take these buttons and put it on the other side, right? Right-handed, up and down, buzz, up and down, buzz. I can change my modes on this side, so I would suggest that you take these up and down arrows and put them on this side. It would be way more ergonomic, okay? My other huge ones, the deals that made me not put this on my dog is get higher and lower levels on your shock control, okay? So go from a bigger, broader range. Don't start at such a high level, because I don't even want to shock myself on a level 1 with that collar, okay? I didn't even bother going up to a 9, right? So We need to broaden that range, bring it down to where you cannot feel it at a 1 and bring it up to your maximum at 100 and give that play there. Okay, same thing goes for your tone. Okay, so your tone, when you're going up and down, it does not need to change pitch. What it needs to do is change volume. So the higher that we raise it, the louder the beep gets, not the higher pitch, okay? And then also, let's shorten the pitch, okay? So shortening the pitch, same thing with the shock and same thing with the vibrate. We are shocking and then getting like a 6-second shock, okay? That is not good. That is not good. That is not good for training dogs. That is good for ruining dogs, especially if we want to do minute, tiny corrections on a dog. That is massive. That is memory creating. That is dog ruining amounts of time to shock a dog. So if I put that on my dog, cranked it up to a 9, shocked it for the first time, it would sit there and it would yelp its brains out for at least 10 seconds. That is not a good thing. Same thing for the vibrate. If we're going to vibrate a dog, it doesn't need to go bzzz for like 6 seconds. And for the tone, that is not acceptable. It's acceptable for dog fences. It's not acceptable for dog training, okay? So the whole idea about an invisible dog fence is you traumatize your dog to stay in your yard, right? You're going to get beep, 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 zap, 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 right? And then they stay in their yard because they don't want to get beeped and zapped to death. Dog training is a lot different, a lot less heavy-handed than that. Make this a lot less heavy-handed unit, and I'll be all behind you all the way. Thanks for tuning in. Thanks for listening to me ramble on. I'm going to have some cuts and all that stuff, but y'all stay tuned for some more stuff. I wish I could have brought y'all some handle and stuff on this. All my dogs are shock collar trained anyway. I don't even use a shock collar to handle them. If you're a company and you want me to test out your shock collars or your anything to do with anything, let me know. Shoot me an email like Pet Hey did. I'm going to give honest reviews. I'm not selling bullcrap on this channel, and I'm not going to put stuff on my dogs that I don't agree with, and I'm not going to tell y'all to do it either. So Pet Hey, make your changes before you launch this thing, and I'll back you. Send me the new unit, the new revised unit, and I'll give you a new review, and I'll give you my full, undisclosed, honest opinion about it, and maybe we will get to a level and reiterations to where I will actually go out here in the yard and put that on my dog. But thank y'all for tuning in. Y'all keep them treed.